Hello, this is Opinion Radar. If you've ever wrestled with holding two pieces of molding or trim in perfect alignment while trying to clamp them, especially at that tricky 45-degree angle, you know how frustrating it can be. Traditional clamps often get in the way, slip out of position, or just don't apply even pressure exactly where you need it. That's why today, I'm diving into a tool that's been quietly making rounds in the woodworking and trim communities, the Miter Spring Clamps Kit. Priced at just $19, this compact set promises a simpler, faster way to secure miter joints without the usual hassle. These aren't your standard C-clamps or bar clamps. They're specifically engineered for corner joins, and their design suggests smart problem solving. In this review, I'll walk you through my real-world experience using them across different projects, materials, and work environments, because a tool is only as good as its performance in the field. Let's see if these clamps live up to the hype. Let me tell you, when it comes to assembling miter joints, whether you're building picture frames, window casings, or crown molding, finding a clamp that's both reliable and easy to use can be a total game changer. That's exactly what the Miter Spring Clamps Kit brings to the table. These little guys are built with strong spring steel, which gives them serious holding power. I was skeptical at first. After all, plenty of clamps claim to do the job, but fall short when you actually need consistent pressure. But these, they deliver. Once you get the joint aligned and snap the clamp on, it holds tight without slipping, giving you peace of mind while the glue sets. You don't need to babysit it, and that's worth its weight in gold when working on multiple joints in a single build. Now, what really sets these apart is how fast and intuitive they are to use. I've tried a number of miter clamping solutions over the years, from corner braces to strap clamps, and while they work, they're often slow, complicated, or block access to the joint. With these spring clamps, the process is streamlined. Apply glue, align the miter on a 90-degree reference, slide the pieces together, and snap the clamp on. That's it. No fiddling with screws, no adjusting straps, no bulk getting in the way. You've got full access to the joint if you want to nail or pin it before the glue dries. I used them on a set of interior door casings recently, and not only did they save me time, but the accuracy of the joints came out noticeably better. It's one of those rare tools that's both simple and highly effective, the kind of thing you wonder how you ever worked without. One of the most practical benefits I've found with these clamps is their versatility across different materials and finishes. I've used them for traditional wood frames, PVC exterior trim, and even softer pine moldings. They hold well across the board. I was particularly impressed when using them on PVC window trim, material that can be a little tricky to clamp without warping or cracking. The even pressure and consistent spring tension made all the difference. And if you're working on painted trim, don't sweat the small indentations these clamps leave behind. The pins do leave marks, no getting around that, but on softwoods like pine, a quick spot of wood filler and a light sanding makes them disappear completely. Honestly, I see it as a fair trade-off for such precise, hands-free clamping. I'll be real with you, no tool is perfect, and these do have one or two quirks. The biggest one? The pins take a decent amount of hand strength to squeeze closed, especially when you're doing multiple clamps in a row. I found myself grabbing a pair of locking pliers to help with installation after a few uses, and it made life a lot easier. The kit doesn't come with that tool, so you want to have something handy. Also, while the clamping force is more than adequate, it's not infinite. So, if your miters aren't cut cleanly or accurately, the clamp isn't going to fix that. A few customers have complained about weak pressure, but honestly, if your joints are properly cut and still slipping, it's more likely a miter saw calibration issue than a clamp problem. These clamps aren't magic, but they do require decent craftsmanship to shine, and when they do, they shine brightly. Price-wise, you're looking at $19 for the kit, and I'd say that's a solid value. These aren't disposable tools, they feel Durable, the spring steel has good tension retention, and they don't feel like they'll wear out after a few projects. I liked them so much after the first use that I ended up ordering an extra set of 8. Having backups on hand means I don't have to wait for clamps to dry before starting the next joint, which keeps the workflow moving smoothly. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a pro doing trim work, regularly having a decent sized set of these can seriously boost your efficiency. And because they're small and lightweight, storage isn't an issue. Toss them in your tool bag or hang them on a pegboard. They're always ready when you are. At the end of the day, if you're working with miter joints on a regular basis, the miter spring clamps kit is one of those humble tools that quietly elevates your results. They're not flashy, but they solve a very specific problem: accurate hands-free miter clamping, better than most alternatives I've tried. They're fast, effective, and when paired with a good wood glue, deliver joints with full glue squeeze out and excellent alignment. Yeah, they leave marks. Yeah, they can be a bit stiff to close. But those are minor trade-offs in exchange for consistency, speed, and quality. I've recommended them to a few fellow carpenters already, and every one of them came back, saying the same thing: why didn't I get these sooner? If you're on the fence, just buy them. You'll wonder how you managed without them. If your miter joints could use a little more precision and a lot less hassle, it's time to spring into action. Give these clamps a shot, and if you found this review helpful, lock in the gains, hit like and subscribe. Every click helps this channel build stronger, just like a perfect joint.